Hi guys, Drew here. So I want to start this if I were deity tag. Full disclosure, this is not my idea at all. I want to give credit where credit is due, but I don't know if the person who came up with this would want me to say their name on YouTube, on my video. So suffice to say that I belong to a group on Facebook called The Eclectic Witch. And one of the admins put this question up, and I really liked it. I thought it was interesting to answer and look at other people's answers. And afterward, the more I thought about it, the more I realized I wanted to see all the YouTubers that I love to watch answer the questions as well, and what their responses would be. And I thought, well, the only way to do that would be if a tag were created. My channel is so small that I don't know if it'll really go anywhere, but I have to try, I guess. So essentially the question is, if you were a god or a goddess, what would your correspondences be? And then there are 10 prompts. Hopefully some other YouTubers will join me because I would love to see your answers. So without further ado, let's get to the if I were deity tag. There are 10 prompts and I'll leave them in the down bar. Some of my answers have changed a bit from what I put when I answered on Facebook because I've had a little bit of time to think about it, but most of them are the same. So if I were deity, what would my domains be? Okay, my domains would be journey because it's an integral part of my personal path. I also put sacred geometry, not because I'm an expert in it by any means, but because I am so completely drawn to it. And even though I don't completely understand it, there's something really sort of instinctual about it. Like, yes, yes. It makes sense. It's right. Sacred geometry is a thing and it matters and it's beautiful. I also said that truth and integrity would be in my domain because I have found on my path, and I think for any path, but let me speak for myself, that being truthful with others, but most importantly, being truthful with myself has been beyond important for my growth and my progress on my path. I can lie to myself and others all day long, but I can't lie to spirit. And honestly, I'm not going to grow and become bigger and better than what I am if I don't honestly face myself. And integrity. I have to be accountable. For me, every situation I find myself in life, I have some culpability in. Even if I'm a quote-unquote victim in that situation, somehow or another, I have a role to play in that. Whether it be how long I stayed in a situation that was bad for me, putting others above myself, making poor decisions that led me to the situation I'm in, whatever it is, I have some culpability. And honestly, I find it really empowering to face that and take responsibility. I don't feel as much like a victim, like, oh, I see, I made a mistake here, here, or here. I can learn from that and not make those mistakes again and not find myself in those situations again. And lastly, I added releasing and clearing. I didn't have this when I posted on Facebook, but releasing and clearing, again, is a huge integral part of my path. It is something that I am constantly doing, whether it be through shadow work, through Sith, for sure, even just, smudge or whatever, just constantly clearing and trying to get back to a perfect state, trying to clear my ancestral lines, trying to just clear the snot out of everything. I randomly grid places around where I live. When the energy is bad, I'll go and shove quartz in the ground all over the place, like just trying to clear and sort of reprogram the energy of the area. So those would be my domains. If I were deity, what would be my color correspondences? Absolutely purple and green. just because those are my favorite colors. They are the colors I resonate with the deepest. Purple has been my favorite color probably since I was 5, and green came in more toward adulthood, but they are absolutely my power colors. If I were deity, what would be my season? I had to say autumn. I'm not big for extremes, and I live in a place that has extremes. It's really freaking hot in the summer, and it's really freaking cold in the winter, as far as I'm concerned. It gets below freezing, so that's cold. And it can get over 100 degrees with heat index or whatever. And I say that, but autumn is actually really hot here. Early autumn is really uncomfortable here, but it honestly has more to do with the energy of autumn. Again, coming to an ending. It's sort of, to me, it's an in-between spot. It's the between summer and winter. It's a transition. Spring is good, but I'm more, again, of a clearing endings kind of person. I try to incorporate it all in my path, you know. You want to let go, you want to release, and you want to embrace new things and grow, and, you know. But I resonate with autumn for various reasons. If I were deity, what would be my time of day? Dusk. Same reasons for autumn. I'm not a morning person, so it's not going to be dawn. Dusk is an in-between time. It is moving from day to night. It's a soft place. I love those places. And again, we're working toward an ending. It's the ending of day. If I were deity, what would be my corresponding planet? This one was a little harder for me. I originally thought, okay, well, I mean, you know, Venus is love. Who doesn't love? We all have people we love, or, you know, we all love things. And Venus is resonating with me a lot this year, but not every year. Then I thought maybe Pluto. It's the planet of expansion, of growth. But again, it's not something I think I can say always completely resonates with me. So I thought the moon, okay, feminine energy, psychicism, you know, mystic and occult knowledge, and, you know, what have you, emotions. But again, closer than the other two for sure. I had to go with Mercury. Mercury is essentially the planet of communication. And communication is a huge deal for me in my personal life and on my path. I need to communicate properly what it is that I desire, what it is I'm trying to do in order to manifest that, in order to bring it into reality. And I need to be able to communicate with my children and my husband and my friends, and guides and angels and all the beings that I work with. And it doesn't, of course, have to be the spoken word, although that is a very important part of it, but even subtle communication through symbols or gestures or what have you. I feel Mercury would definitely be my corresponding planet. If I were deity, what would be my moon phase? Originally, I said waning, because again, I'm always doing the releasing and the clearing and the letting go. But really, I felt that was too limiting. And I've decided to go with full moon, because for me, in my practice, I use the full moon for anything and everything. Whereas I'll only use the waning for certain things, only use the waxing for certain things, only use new moon and dark moon for certain things. I will use the full moon for all of the above. Anything I can do in any other phase. So I felt that I would go with full moon for that reason. What would my herb and incense correspondences be? Incense is amber all the way. I have many incense that I love. I love rose incense. I love Moldavite incense. I love so many incense that I love. But definitely amber would be the one that I would want burnt for me. I just absolutely adore amber fragrance. As for herbs, sandalwood powder for sure. I love tonka bean. I like lemon balm and Deity of Crete and yarrow a lot. Probably, if I had to choose just two, I would probably go with sandalwood powder and yarrow. If I were deity, and you might notice that I say that word different all the time. Sometimes I say deity, sometimes I say deity. I do that with lots of words. Bear with me. So if I were deity, my metal correspondence would be copper all the way, 100% copper. This is my only pentacle I wear around my neck. It's made of copper. I wire wrap jewelry, stones. Always use copper wire. My wands I make, well, I make several kinds of wands, but I make copper wands, and it's copper tubing with all kinds of like magnetic sand, ground selenite, ground kyanite, probably sandalwood powder, garnet granules, all kinds of chips and beads of different kinds of stones in here. A quartz tip, of course. But yeah, copper is my jam. I can't even say why. My husband and I are both seriously drawn to copper. We always have been. If I were deity, what would be my corresponding crystal? Moldavite, 100% moldavite, all the way. Moldavite for me is like a warm blanket. It's like a juicy hug. It is home, energetically. I don't resonate more completely with any other crystal I've ever worked with. I adore all crystals, but I do not resonate more completely with any other crystal other than moldavite. And lastly, if I were deity, what would be my offerings? For me, that's super easy. They'd be fresh cherries, bones, and stones. And of course, crystals would always be appropriate and super appreciated and loved. But just rocks. Rocks are okay. This is my hagstone. But regardless, rocks, sticks, I love all that kind of stuff. So yeah, any kind of bones or stones would be welcome. So that's it, guys. That's the If I Were Deity tag. I really hope some of you will join me in doing this tag. I think it's so fun to see each other's answers and to get to know each other a little bit better. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. And until next time, much love and gratitude.